look familiar? Yeah, I was admitted to labor and delivery. I have to be here for 24 hours. I came in because I was just sitting, reclining in my lazy boy and watching TV, and all of a sudden I felt like my heart was pounding in my throat. Like I could actually feel my heart beating in my throat. Luckily, my husband's a nurse and he took all of my vital signs. My heart rate was elevated, but it was mostly like a bounding heart rate rather than a fast heart rate. It was still fast, but like the symptom that I was noticing most and what he noticed was he could feel it just like pounding out of my chest. And then as a result, it was really hard for me to breathe. So we called the hospital, came in, and over the course of an hour or two, those symptoms kind of subsided a little bit. And, what do I have to say about that? Like, those symptoms subsided. I still had a really fast heart rate. So my heart rate was like in the 100s, 110s. One time it was 120, high 90s, and like the normal range is 60 to 80. But they ruled out anything that would have caused something scary like a pulmonary embolism. Apparently was something that they were looking for, and they ruled that out. They ruled out that I had a heart attack. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe this was just something weird, a normal fluctuation. But then that I gave them a urine sample, and all the time whenever I've done those before, they've come back like all normal, like no protein in the urine, which usually indicates preeclampsia. But today it was elevated, like 0.3 is apparently the cutoff, and mine was like 0.6, and my blood pressures were like pretty high. There were a couple of high blood pressure reads, a couple of normal, but enough high, and combined with the protein in the urine to admit me to labor and delivery, to cycle my blood pressures every 4 hours, and I have to do a 24-hour urine sample again. Last time I did one, everything was normal, so they're gonna like have something to compare this one to. Then they'll give me like a diagnosis of preeclampsia or not. Preeclampsia without severe symptoms, or preeclampsia with severe symptoms. And the severe symptoms would be a blood pressure of 160 over 110, and then the upper right rib pain, seeing spots, swelling the legs, high blood pressure. I already said that. Can't remember the other ones. Like leakage of fluids, bleeding, cramping. Anyway, so here for 24 hours to monitor all of that. And my first blood pressure was high. So they said that if they find two 4 hours apart that are high, then I'll have the diagnosis of preeclampsia. But that's that. One of the babies is lying transverse, which means they're like this. And then the other one is head down, and then his feet are up here, and then the other baby's lying like that. So that has made it quite hard to breathe. And whenever I have a Braxton Hicks contraction now, it goes like up into my chest, and it just like is so uncomfortable. Oh, 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 they're moving. But I don't think there's really anything else to report in terms of the preeclampsia. But I will update you on the babies now. So completely separate from the preeclampsia is the concern for the babies developing twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome. So I feel like I'm not going to define it very well because, first of all, I'm not making a whole lot of sense right now, but second of all, I don't really know a whole lot. I don't want to learn too much because it scares me, but it's treatable. It's definitely treatable, and I'm in a good place that has a really good fetal therapy department that I'm in good hands. But pretty much twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome happens, I think, mostly with, or only or mostly with identical twins because they share a placenta. But it's when one baby starts taking more nutrients from the other and growing faster, and then that can lead to complications. But up until now, the babies have been a little bit different in size, but not enough to be concerned, not enough for the doctors to be concerned. This past week when we went, baby A had what they call polyhydramnios, excess amniotic fluid around him, and what that indicates is that he is possibly stealing nutrients, producing more urine, which is the amniotic fluid, and could indicate the twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome starting. The doctor also said that they noticed a change in their blood supply to their brain. She said, I don't know enough at this point to say anything conclusive. That was just something we noticed. She didn't say like what the change was really. She didn't give any details, but just that there was a change in the blood supply to the brain. And then the least concerning news that she gave us, and I'm like totally fine with it. It's kind of cute. Little baby B, Gabriel, has a clubbed foot. His little foot's like inverted, and they said there's a chance the other one's inverted too. And I had to wear little corrective shoes when I was little, and I still kind of walk a little weirdly, but she put it to me like it's easily corrected with, you know, some intervention early on when they're little. So if that was the only piece of news, I wouldn't have been that concerned. But you know, we heard the whole thing about the fluid around the babies and the blood supply to their brain. So I have to go back every week now and monitor what's been going on there. So that's a totally separate situation from this. But that, we don't have any answers on that yet, but just gonna wait and see. And if it ends up being preeclampsia, monitor me, monitor my symptoms, treat my symptoms, follow the babies more closely, wait and see. If it's twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, monitor them, diagnose it, treat it, wait and see. That seems to be the name of the game. Like, just everything's okay right now, but just some red flags have been popping up that we have to wait and see about. It's a little hard to breathe, but it's fine. If anything else interesting happens, I'll let you know. But for now, I'll include two really cute things. So the ultrasound technician at our last ultrasound could get a really good look at baby A, Graham, and he was doing something she said she had never seen before, which was sticking his tongue in and out, in and out, in and out. And that's like something that my husband does all the time. He's like, you know, he doesn't just do that out of nowhere, but that's a frequent sound that he makes when he's excited, when he's annoying, when he feels like it. And it kind of looks like little Graham might be taking after him with the in and out motion of the tongue. And then the second one, they couldn't really see Gabriel, so they didn't get some good images. He kind of had his hand over his face and was facing my back, so they couldn't see his face as well as they could see Graham's. But then I did video them moving, and I had a remote on my stomach so you can really see them moving because the remote will move, and it was just so wild to see how much they were moving. So I'll end on those two positive, cute notes. But yeah, if anything else happens, I will let you know. Okay, bye. This is baby A, Graham, sticking out his tongue. Going just like Andrew. Oh my gosh.
Hilarious.
That is so cute. Oh.